Well, that was an interesting interlude. What's up, YouTube? Jenna 2.0 here. I've like been to town today. Dun dun dun, shock horror, I left the house. Been to town today and I was just in game trying out the Xbox One they have. You know how they have the Xbox One and like the stand thingamabob, but the controllers are out and you can play on it. But I played the 360 and I was trying the Xbox One and it was, what was the Forza they brought out with it? It was Forza 5? Question mark? I'm not sure if it's Forza 5. Which one do I have? Okay, I have Forza 3 and Forza 4 came out on Xbox 360, so this is before 5. Right? I don't know. You know what I mean. The Forza game that came out with the Xbox One. And I was playing on that and it was really, like, I was terrible at it because the turning circle was like, it just wasn't having any of it, right? So I'm just playing on it, having a rage about turning circle, and this guy comes up and he starts talking to me. Now, I'm looking at the screen, okay? And it just suddenly got really dull in here. Anyways, so I'm watching the screen, and this guy starts talking to me. I can see him in the corner of my eye. I can't see him in the details. I can just kind of see how tall he is, and that he's like older than me. He's like relatively older than me, right? And he's just talking to me about this. He's like, oh, you could do it. And I'm like, I'm trying. And we just have a conversation about it. And then we start talking about the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4. And after a bit of talking to him, he suddenly goes to me, what's your name, by the way? And I'm like, oh, I'm Jennifer. And he's like, I'm Pete. So he holds his hand out to me like this. And I take his hand. And I'm expecting a handshake, right? Because that's the general greeting, is a handshake. And he's only been talking to me for about 10 minutes. But then he like lifts my hand up and kisses it. And this is like a late 30s, maybe 40s, I don't know, I'm bad at guessing ages on people, guy. And I'm just kind of like accepting it, not really saying anything about it. But internally I'm just like, I could barely stand a hug. And this guy's kissed my hand. And literally, I don't hug people. I very rarely hug people, especially people that I don't know. I mean, I'm happy talking to you. I can babble on until, you know, next century, which is probably how a lot of these situations happen with me, because they talk to me and I talk to them and we just have a back and forth conversation, and then it gets awkward because you never know when to leave. Because I was just in there checking the games out because I was buying a game for my sister for her birthday. I was at this point now where, okay, I'm talking to this guy, and then we're going over to the PlayStation 3 side of the shop, and he's talking about that, and I'm just like, I'm done in here. Can I leave now? Because we're still having a conversation. So I left, and it's a scenario where you don't know whether to say goodbye or not. Like, have we been speaking long enough to warrant a goodbye, or can you just kind of slip away in the background and go home? But I left, and that was an interesting interlude. Nice guy. Didn't quite appreciate the hand kissing. Call me old-fashioned. Well, actually no, call me new-fashioned? Because hand kissing is old-fashioned? Somewhat? I don't know. You get the point. It was a bit weird. And I was a bit like, and yeah. Don't touch me.